Hello, friends. This is Dave Hurwitz, executive editor at ClassicsToday.com, here with random reviews, and I've scarfed up another three boxes from the three boxes. Yes, they're boxes from the box of boxes, box sets. Oh gosh, we've got so many of these. I'm looking at these. They're like those giant wardrobe boxes full of things, and I'm slowly working through them, and I pulled out three of them, and they all happen to be, and this is really true, conductor boxes. Kind of interesting conductor boxes. So let's just take a look at what they were, shall we? And see what we have. Boulez, the complete Erato recordings. There weren't many, actually. There were what? How many were there here? 14 CDs of mostly modern music. And, Boulez was very good at mostly modern music. And so we have, let's see what we've got here. Stravinsky, Pulcinella, and Song of the Nightingale. So that's pretty cool. More Stravinsky, Le Rossignol. That's the actual opera, I think, isn't it? And yes, 4 songs. Let me do it this way. Let's open it, shall we? I think it got a little squashed. It was on the bottom of a big pile of heavier things. But what the heck? Oh, here we go. Because you get original jackets, and they're kind of nice. So there's this one. Yes, that was the first one. And then we have, let me make some room here on the desk. Okay, so then we have, I gotta get comfortable. Damn, there we are, new room, you know what I mean? Okay, Stravinsky, yes, the opera, the Rossignol with Phyllis Brynjolfsson, it's wonderful. That was the one, and some other goodies for Russian peasant songs, and 3 pieces for string quartet, which you really need Boulez to conduct, I don't think, and the 4 etudes for orchestra, which are kind of irritating. I don't know, I never liked those. All right, that's that. Then more Stravinsky, L'Histoire de Soldat with Patrice Chéreau, Roger Blanchon, and Antoine Vitez with Ensemble Intercontemporain. Yay! Schoenberg, that was his most famous one. Peleus and Melisande, and the Variations with the Chicago Symphony. Heavy duty. Yeah. Schoenberg violin and piano concertos with Pierre Amoyal and Peter Serkin, who sort of made a career out of doing the Schoenberg piano concerto extremely well. Yeah, it's wonderful. What's this? Oh, Messiaen. Yes, Et Expecto Resurrectione Mortuorum and the Couleur de la Cité Céleste. That's lovely. Boulez was not a Messiaen person for the most part. So they were jealous. I think there was some professional thing going on. That's my heat that just went on. If we hear a whirring in the background, I'm not turning it off. You'll deal with it, right? Berlioz, Sinfonia, and Eindrücke with the new Swingle singers and a rather over-prominent Ward Swingle. He was doing the tenor part in this. But yeah, and Xenakis, Halons for 15 instrumentalists. Yeah, whatever that is, who knows. Ligeti, piano etudes. First book, the trio for violin, horn, and piano. And Donatoni, yeah, he's a guy that we pay attention to. His Tema for 12 instruments and Cadeau, a present for 11 instruments. And so, I don't understand what Boulez is doing in any of this stuff, but it's with Ensemble Intercontemporain, so I guess he gets credit for it. Georgi Kurtag, Message de Feu, Demoiselle Avi Trusova, 21 poems for soprano and chamber ensemble. Harrison Birtwistle, AGM for 16 voices and 3 instrumental groups, and A Partridge in a Pear Tree. Gérard Griset, modulations for 33 musicians. Yeah, they're really modulating. Elliot Carter, yeah. Concerto for oboe, Esprit Rude, Esprit Doux for flute and clarinet. A Mirror on Which to Dwell with, let's see, who's the soprano here? Let's see, what's the soprano is... It's a tiny... Oh, Phyllis Brynjolfsson again. Everything she did is wonderful, frankly. And Pentode for 5 groups of 4 instruments. Get it? 20 people. Okay, look at this one. Dufour, Antiphysis for leading flute and chamber ensemble. Brian Fernihoe, Funérailles, version 1 and 2. Jonathan Harvey, Mortuos Plongo, Vivos Voco for concrete sounds, and York Höhler Arcus for 17 instruments and magnetic tape. Now, there's a disc you're going to be playing frequently. Why not have a dinner party and put it on in the background? Yeah, they're going to love it. And then we have Pli Selon Pli by Boulez, and more Boulez doing Boulez. Boulez doing Le Visage Nuptial and Le Soleil des Eaux, and Figure Double and Prismes. Yeah. And finally, Boulez's own Sonatine for flute and piano, his Piano Sonata number 1, Derive 1 for a bunch of things, Memorial, which is the original of Explosion Fixe. And I mean, do we care? No, we don't care. Dialogue de l'ombre double, and Cummings ist der Dichter. I love E.E. Cummings. For 16 solo voices, mixed chorus and chamber orchestra. Guaranteed that you won't hear a note, a word of what E.E. Cummings was writing about. Let me tell you something. Okay, yes, it's all very contemporary. It's a fun box, actually, for what it is. And I do think, actually, that some of this stuff, these people spend more time coming up with the titles to these pieces than they do writing the actual music. And indeed, the most interesting thing about a lot of it is the title. Okay, that was Boulez. Second box. Here we go. Hermann Abendroth on Profil. Well, this is interesting. 10 CDs. It's all normal stuff. After Boulez, you're going to go, oh, yeah. You get Bruckner 4, Bruckner 5, Bruckner 7, Bruckner 9, Brahms 1, and Brahms 3, and the Haydn variations, and the Tragic Overture, and the Beethoven Romance in G with the violin concerto with David Oistrakh, yay! And the Eroica, and the 6th, and the 7th, and the one with the tie. I can't say it. I don't have the tie thing with me. I moved. The tie's coming. Don't worry. No, it's a little video clip. It's somewhere. I don't know. It's on this computer. Anyway, yes, Beethoven's Last Symphony, the one I can't mention because I don't have a tie. Okay. Hermann Abendroth. Now, some of these are, this is with a bunch of orchestras, the Leipzig Radio, Berlin Radio, Czech Phil, and Warsaw Phil. And the sound is variable, and it's mostly like mono. And, because Abendroth, what were his dates? He didn't make it very, very far into the stereo era. Let's see what they say. What his years were? No, they don't. They tell us nothing. Oh, there we go. Hermann Abendroth, 1883 to 1956. So that tells you how far you're going to get and what the sound quality is likely to be. He was an important conductor because he is often cited as somebody who was operating in the Meiningen tradition of Brahms and German music interpretation, which was a highly interventionist, flexible tempo kind of approach, sort of like Furtwängler, only more in some respects. And he was a very good conductor. His stuff is very interesting to hear, especially because it's theoretically evidence, like I said, of a style of performance that went out of fashion. It went out of fashion with like Toscanini and Sell and those people, where people preferred more regularized tempos and proportionally related things, Klemperer, people like that, And Abendroth was another thing, a thing that no longer exists. So he's very, very interesting to hear. And this is a wonderful set to give you a sense of what he was doing. Of course, the Bruckner editions are all kind of wonky, and it's fine. It's just fine. As Brahms is what's really interesting. That's the stuff that really, really interested listeners and collectors who like historical recordings because of his flexibility of pulse and his emphasis on the romantic rather than the classical elements in interpretation. So if you're a historical performance enthusiast and you're curious about who he is, this Profil 10-disc box is a very good way to get to know him, assuming it still exists. Last but not least, Zubin Mehta. Yeah, Zubin Mehta conducts Richard Strauss, which he always did very, very well. And there's some really good stuff in here. There really is. He made a beautiful L.A. Phil Strauss series, but these are his Sony recordings. And, there's some fun stuff in here. We get, let's see, Also sprach Zarathustra with the New York Phil, Don Juan with Los Angeles, which he redid for Sony. an Alpine Symphony with the Berlin Phil, with Horn Concerto #1. It's all very, very good. And there's, like I said, Ein Heldenleben, let's see, with Berlin, because he did it like a million times. And Horn Concerto #2, I think he must have recorded Heldenleben 3 times. I mean, has anybody did it in L.A., did it in New York, he did it, I don't know, goodness gracious. The Sinfonia Domestica with Berlin, and the Burlesca for piano and orchestra with Daniel Barenboim playing the fiendishly tricky piano part. Oh my goodness. And then we've got a really wonderful disc of opera excerpts. You get Waltz Sequence #1 from De Rosenkavalier, the Symphonic Fragment from Die Liebe der Dane. Yeah, when was the last time you heard that? And the 4 symphonic interludes from Intermezzo, and the Symphonic Fantasia from Die Frau ohne Schatten, all with Berlin Phil. It's a wonderful disc. I wish Strauss had done a better Symphonic Fantasia from Die Frau. Erich Leinsdorf did his own arrangement of music, and it's 100 times better. Better selection of everything. Strauss really just didn't care at that point. And then we've got Salome. Salome with Eva Marton, Heinz Sedgwick, Bernd Weichel, the Berlin Phil, Brigitte Fassbender, Keith Lewis, not necessarily in that order, and bits of other things. You get something from Gundrum and Ariadne auf Naxos and Arabella and Die Ägyptische Helena with the Israel Phil and Jane Eaglin. That's a whole other disc that they stuffed on to give you a bonus at the end of Salome. I mean, Mehta is a very good opera conductor, and this is a very good Salome. I mean, Eva Marton has a voice that's a little squally, let's face it. She's not exactly a nymphomaniacal sex pot, but that's okay. I mean, it's a beautiful performance. And so there you go. It's a really good Strauss box, 8 CDs worth of it. Yay! 3 big boxes, randomly reviewed. Keep on listening, friends. Take care.